This is me as a Viking in AI. You're going to love it. It's really great.
My dear Vikings, penguins, and all the great people of Greenland, this is your new war chief, Donaldson Trump Polson.
Oh, who did this?
We will make Greenland green again. All the Legos you want to play, all the battle axes you want to sharpen, and cool, horny helmets for everybody. Except the Mexicans. This is going to be a great Valhalla. We will make Valhalla great again. We will not let the Russians or the Chinese or the Mexicans take over this land, this beautiful land, this green land.
This green land.
This really green land. It's green under all that ice, but it's really great. What is with the Mexicans, I think is the big
I don't understand this. I don't know why I don't remember, like, I don't know what this video is about.
So I'm assuming that this is like some type of a joke, and which
well,
is fun.
Obviously it's AI joke. Yeah. And it's piecing together things that he has said. That's how ridiculous he is. You don't even need to make stuff up for him in terms of the audio.
No.
You know, I mean, you really don't. The audio handles itself for him.
Well, if that's the one, because I didn't see this AI video that I guess you're referencing. If you have something that had come out, I hadn't seen it. So this is what I found.
Are you talking about the Fannie Mae ad?
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. Well, because this is not anything having to do with that. I referenced something having to do with the whole story that I put together. But yeah.
Yes, but if there is an AI video,
there is, and you have to find. That's why I asked.
All right, I got it. But I thought that this was kind of like.
This has nothing to do with that. I don't know.
No, I would say that this has a lot to do with what's going on right now. So it's really no surprise that somebody took it upon themselves to say, yeah, okay, Trump's acting like a Viking conqueror of some kind. At least that's what he fancies himself as. The funny thing is he'll see a video like this and think, oh, that's a really great idea. I totally appreciate you doing that on my behalf. I definitely look good as a Viking.
The greenest, actually. May Odin be my witness. What a great witness he is. We're great friends, by the way. Ragnarok, everybody.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's going to see this and think, yeah, I look really great like
that. But
this
is just like somebody made this and it's silly. The ad I'm talking about is actually our sitting president did voiceover ad for Fannie Mae. Our sitting president did voiceover ad for Fannie Mae.
No,
that's a real ad. So that's what I was talking about before.
Yes, but did he do a voiceover or was it AI generated? You said that it was AI.
Well, the ad is AI, but I don't think that the narration is AI.
All right, well, here it is.
President Donald J. Trump has built a strong economy and is revitalizing the American dream. He will go down as the greatest housing president in history.
America was built one home at a time. I believe that. Because the American dream was never just an idea. It was a front door, a set of keys, a place where families built their future. For generations, home ownership meant security, independence, and stability. But today, that dream feels out of reach for too many Americans. Not because they stopped working hard, but because the system stopped working for them.
Well, now I understand why he had to do this in AI, because he wouldn't be capable of saying those words unless it was AI generated.
Yeah, I'm listening to it. It's not him, really.
No, it's definitely AI for sure, but...
Yeah, he doesn't sound this neat anymore. He sounds a lot more post-stroke and dementia than he sounds like this.
Well, again, the way he talks, his words are slurred so heavily at this point.
Yeah, no, it's definitely AI.
For sure.
That's why protecting housing matters. Why institutions like Fannie Mae matter. Working with banks so lending doesn't stop, capital keeps moving, and people aren't locked out because their past wasn't perfect. When banks can say yes, families can move forward. The all-new Fannie Mae, protector of the American dream.
You've seen it all when your sitting president is pimping for Fannie Mae.
The great American mortgage corporations. I guess they're like a lot of people have been suggesting, they're going to try to squeeze every last dime out of the system that they can before it's not worth anything anymore. And we're in another major depression, the likes of which hasn't been seen in a very long time.
Well, what this correlates to, though, which was the story, is about Trump going to Davos. So Davos is this week. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is the first official day. And a couple thousand highly influential people, oligarchs and foreign dignitaries are descending into Switzerland to Davos to basically decide how they're going to run the world. This is where decisions are made that affect our lives. This is where shit gets done.
Well, this is what they do every year, but yes, it's true.
Okay. So it happens every year. This is the annual meeting of the people that are in charge. So when people are convinced that they have authority and they have power, if they're not invited to this, they have no power.
I would agree.
So most of the time, presidents don't attend Davos. However, Trump, being the center of the universe, not only is attending, but he is commanding audience. Yeah, he wants to be holding court there, and he will be presenting his housing solutions. He's already dealt with world peace. He's already done that. World peace, check. Did that.
Totally ended 8 wars, prevented 8 more,
right.
And I'm getting that Nobel Prize.
Good. So now he's going to solve the housing crisis. And I haven't read his whole plan, but I believe it involves something along the lines of getting 50-year mortgages now. So,
and to think that the person responsible for that atrocity of an economic plan is somebody that we a few years back had as a guest on the channel. So it's, I said we're small but mighty, guys. We've definitely, we had Bill Pulte on the podcast, so we've definitely outdone ourselves in a number of ways over the years. Inequality and unease are rising as elite Davos event opens with pro-business Trump set to attend. Yeah, he's pro-business, all right. Shall I or shall you, or shall we go back?
I'll read it. Davos, Switzerland. Corporate chiefs and government leaders, including U.S. President Donald Trump, swarm into Davos, Switzerland this week, joining an elite annual meeting that promotes dialogue and economic progress, even as a domineering tone from Washington has upended the global order and billionaires have reaped trillions in new wealth as the poor lag behind. The World Economic Forum, the think tank whose 4-day annual meeting opens Tuesday, has a stated motto of improving the state of the world. And this year's theme is a spirit of dialogue. One question is whether Trump will speak with attendees or at them. Scroll.
Jen, have you given your contribution to the Human Fund as of yet?
No. Have not contributed to the Human Fund. Nearly 3,000 attendees from the interlinked worlds of business, advocacy, and policy will tackle issues including the growing gap between rich and poor, AI's impact on jobs, concerns about geo-economic conflict, tariffs that have rocked longstanding trade relationships, and an erosion of trust between communities and countries. It's really going to be a discussion at a very important moment. Geopolitics is changing, said Mirek Dusek, a forum managing director in charge of programming. Some people think we're in a transition. Some people think we've already entered a new era. But I think it's undeniable that you are seeing a more competitive, more contested landscape. Trump set to loom large.
Oh, I am quite large.
Trump's third visit to Davos as president comes as U.S. allies worry about his ambition to take over Greenland. Latin America is grappling with his efforts to reap Venezuela's oil, and his hardball tactics towards Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell have stirred concern among business leaders and lawmakers alike.
But I'm totally a peacetime president, believe me.
Yeah, Trump's peacemaking credentials also will be on the table. An announcement looms about his board of peace. Can we pause for a second to recognize the irony of switching the Department of Defense to the Department of War, but then now you're creating a board of peace? Like, I'm just. An announcement looms large about his board of peace for Gaza, and he and his administration are expected to have bilateral meetings in the Warren of side rooms at the Congress Center. What do you want to bet $1 million Trump doesn't know what a bilateral meeting is? The U.S. leader seems to revel in strolling through the Davos Congress Center and among executives who backed his business-minded, money-making approach to politics. Critics will also be nearby. Trump has blown hot and cold recently with Colombian President Gustavo Petro an invitee. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi of Iran was set to speak, but his appearance was canceled. Iran's leaders face U.S. sanctions over their handling of recent protests because we're the king of overseeing how everybody should handle protests. And organizers said Monday that the tragic loss of civilian lives means it's not right for the government to be represented. Oh, okay. Okay. So if this is sort of like canceling Iran because of human rights violations from the country that's committing a genocide. Got it. Okay.
Totally.
Got it. I'm just making sure I understood that. The two likeliest counterweights to Trump's administration on the international scene, China and the European Union, get top billing on the first day. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen will speak Tuesday morning right before Vice Premier He Lifeng, China's economic czar, as Dusek put it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? What are you thinking? You're like laughing at something.
I just, the whole like German extraction of Switzerland, it's got the French and the German influence.
Founder Schwab sits out as NVIDIA chief makes a debut. This thing is like the Oscars it's like the Oscars for ugly people. It is. It's the Oscars for ugly people.
Yeah. The forum will be without its founder, Klaus Schwab, who hosted the first event in Davos 55 years ago, focusing on business, only to see it since balloon into a catch-all extravaganza. He stepped down in April. New co-chairs Larry Fink, BlackRock, the head of investment firm BlackRock, and Andre Hoffman, vice chair of pharmaceuticals firm Roche, are in charge. This year will also mark the debut appearance of NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, arguably the world's most important tech leader today. Among some 850 CEOs and chairs of global companies, along with celebrities like Hollywood actor and safe water advocate Matt Damon.
Well, as long as Matt Damon's there, I'm sure it'll all be fine.
The future of AI, its impact on business and work, and the prospects for artificial general intelligence will be key themes. Presidents of Argentina, Milei, France, merci beaucoup, to,
Look at all those. So the presidents, look at the countries who will be on hand. Do you see the common thread of those countries?
War, commits war, attacked, and attack. Yeah, I get it.
No, the common denominator here these are all Zio-approved empire partners. These are all Zio-approved empire partners. Syria, are you kidding me? We just had he was just here in the White House. He's conspiring with
I see. So the person that they replaced al-Assad with was to make sure that person was a Zio scumfucker as well.
But he was the guy who ran Al-Qaeda, ran ISIS. He's the head of ISIS. He was the guy who was our most wanted. Yes.
Don't you see how it all comes together, ladies and gentlemen?
So all of those 5 countries are currently right now some of the biggest Zio tools.
It's indescribable. Argentina, France, Indonesia, Syria, and Ukraine will be among the dozens of national leaders on hand. How much longer is this?
I don't think it's much longer. That's it.
Scroll up. As rich-poor divide widens, trust in institutions falter. Really?
As it should.
Leading public relations firm Edelman, I wonder what side they're on, reports in its annual Trust Barometer launched a quarter century ago, and this year surveying nearly 34,000 people in 28 countries, that trade and recession fears have climbed to an all-time high. Optimism is falling, especially in developed countries, and grievance last year has morphed into broader insularity. People are retreating from dialogue and compromise, choosing the safety of the familiar over the perceived risk of change. We favor nationalism over global connection and individual gain over joint progress. Our mentality has shifted from we to me. The survey found that about 2/3 of respondents said their trust was concentrated towards CEOs of the companies that they work for, fellow citizens or neighbors, while nearly 70% believed institutional leaders, such as from business and government, deliberately mislead the public. You think? Oxfam, the world-renowned advocacy group, issued a report which showed that billionaire wealth rose more than 16% last year, 3 times faster than the past 5-year average, to more than 18 trillion with a T. It drew on Forbes magazine data on the world's richest people. Oxfam said that 2.5 trillion rise in the wealth of billionaires last year would be enough to eradicate extreme poverty 26 times over. Their wealth has risen by more than 4/5 since 2020, while nearly half the world's population lives in poverty. Nearly half? That's more than half. The Trump administration has led a pro-billionaire agenda, the group said. Though actions such as slashing taxes for the wealthiest, fostering the growth of AI-related stocks that help rich investors get richer, and thwarting efforts to tax giant companies. Yeah, he's a real champion of the people, let me tell you.
Right.
The advocacy group wants more national efforts to reduce inequality, higher taxes on the ultra-rich, to reduce their power, and greater limits on their ability to shape policy through lobbying. With such concerns filtering through to policymakers, Trump, who is leading the biggest ever U.S. delegation and will have about a half dozen cabinet secretaries in town, because why go to Davos and not get the full 5-star treatment for a week? Am I right?
He really is like the emperor walking around, and they're just running around chasing him, holding his clothes. You know what I mean? Like he really...
And any of those conservative ink shitbags have the nerve to complain about how much money was wasted by Obama and Biden when they were in the White House. Listen, they no question wasted a shit ton of money, but it pales. I bet you Trump has wasted more money than Obama and Biden combined. So you'll put the two of them together and the amount of waste. This is waste. You need to go to Davos with a whole entourage in town.
He's making a very important presentation, which, by the way, I wonder if we'll ever be able to see that, if that'll be made available, or how horrible he'll do with given his current mental status or lack thereof. But apparently, yes, he needs a full press court. He's doing a presentation on his housing solutions.
Yeah, really. Yeah, the housing solutions that are going to make him and his cronies.
I'm sure that him and his friend, yes, because the person who's overseeing Davos is the guy who's the head of BlackRock, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, he's not concerned with people having housing.
No, he's just concerned with how can I sucker more people into getting more money. That's about it. Is expected to discuss housing and affordability in his Davos speech on Wednesday. Yeah, that'll be a hoot. Critics of WEF and Trump take to the streets. As usual, protesters rallied over the weekend, and in and near Davos ahead of the event, hundreds of marchers scaled the Alpine Road up to the town on Saturday behind a banner in German that read, "No profit from war," and alongside a truck that bore the sign "World Economic Failure." Well, that's for sure. Companies like Microsoft, India's Tata Consultancy, social media titan TikTok, and cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike joined governments from countries such as Nigeria, Qatar, Ukraine, and the U.S. A USA House is making a debut this year to set up shop on the Davos promenade to promote their services, products, and national economies.
They're having a giant rich person trade show. That's what this is. It's a giant rich person, rich country trade show. And it's really...
Davos storekeepers rent out their premises so that forum participants can have the prime real estate for the week. Critics have long accused the annual meeting of generating more rhetoric than results. No, that's all it does.
Right.
It's all rhetoric. It's not actual results. And they see Trump's return as a sign of the disconnect between the haves and the have-nots. Some say Swiss leaders who support the event and flock to Davos, too, are adding to the problem. It is worrying how Swiss politicians are courting warmongers and their profiteers in Davos. Mirjam Haas-Stadtmann, president of Switzerland's Young Socialists, who have led protests against the event, the WEF will never bring peace, but will only fuel escalation. I agree. And that's what they're there for. And that is the escalation, basically. And so while this particular event gets very little fanfare, people know of it, but they don't actually know what goes on. I would definitely say that when ish hits the fan, which it's hitting, those in power are just expecting the worst. And they will get it. Because that's what we're heading for. This is it's a Band-Aid on a gaping wound that's going to get ripped off. And that's what Trump has always represented. He does not play nice. He does not protect empire. He protects his own personal interests and that of his immediate family and all of the cohorts that have given him money over the years. Look at all the people that he's been pardoning. Almost all of them are criminals, like ridiculous financial criminals. But what did they all have in common? They've all given him a piece of the action.
Yeah. Again, this is it's like the Oscars or one of those kinds of things where a bunch of rich and powerful people get together and to celebrate each other. That's really what this is.
Yeah.
If they were concerned about solutions, then they would do this virtually, because the amount of gas and emissions from the private jets every year flying to this specific event, I believe it's like more than, I want to say, there was some ridiculous comparison how many jets and how much fuel is used to get all of these oligarchs to this place. You know, all I can think about is it would be a really excellent place to try some sort of designated survivor situation. If I'm just putting that out there, you know, if something were to go awry in Davos.
Well, the thing that you have to remember, which I think is very important, is that when you're talking about a private jet in particular, to me, if there's a part of luxury lifestyle that makes me sick, it's people who think that they have to fly on private jets. And some people fly on private jets, not even for cross-country flights. People are so rich and privileged that they basically decide that if they are in San Diego and they don't want to deal with traffic, they'll get on a private jet to get to Los Angeles. Like, that's how pathetic people truly are. And the amount of carbon footprint that you are putting into the atmosphere by taking one cross-country flight on a private jet, it's the equivalent of a person's carbon footprint for a lifetime. For a lifetime.
That's what I mean. And these people do this every year. And so
Correct.
To say that this is in you know, their efforts to better the world, no, it really isn't. That this is like the Oscars for, it's like the Oscars for ugly people. That's really what this is.